The world held its breath as Panama made a game-changing decision. In a surprise move, the Panamanian government announced it would take back control of two major ports from Chinese operators. The announcement hit global headlines like a thunderclap, sending shockwaves through financial capitals and shipping hubs. For decades, these ports symbolized China's expanding reach. And now, that chain had been broken. This was no small step. The two ports, Balboa and Cristobal, stand guard on either end of the legendary Panama Canal. Their control means power over one of the world's busiest crossroads. By reclaiming the ports, Panama was not just drawing lines on a map, it was challenging China's grip on a pillar of global commerce. Across the Pacific, Beijing wasted no time. Officials declared the move a direct attack on Chinese economic interests. They promised swift action. The world braced for what would come next. The stage was set for a high-stakes showdown, one that could redraw the lines of global trade. Picture the Panama Canal, a shimmering ribbon of water slicing through the narrow heart of Central America, connecting two mighty oceans. This engineering marvel, carved out of jungle and rock, stands as one of humanity's greatest achievements, forever changing the map of global trade. Each year, over 12,000 ships pass through its locks, carrying everything from grain and oil to electronics and cars. Day and night, these vessels form a steady procession, their journeys shortened by thousands of miles thanks to this man-made shortcut. The canal is more than a shortcut. It's a lifeline for world trade, linking the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans and allowing goods to flow swiftly between continents. Without it, shipping routes would be longer, riskier, and far more expensive. At each mouth of this vital passage sit the Balboa and Cristobal ports, standing guard at the canal's entrance and exit. These are not ordinary harbors. They are the gateway and farewell to a journey that saves ships weeks at sea, bustling with activity as goods are transferred, inspected, and sent on their way. Every container, every tanker, every bulk carrier that moves through the canal depends on these ports for loading, repairs, and refueling. Without their services, the canal's promise of speed and efficiency would be impossible to fulfill. If the canal is the heart, the ports are its beating pulse. Whoever controls them holds a lever over global supply chains, influencing the flow of goods and the fortunes of nations. That is why Panama's move matters to every country that trades by sea. It's a story of power, geography, and the relentless flow of commerce, where decisions made here ripple across the globe. Control of these ports is not just about docking ships. It's about the right to set rules, collect fees, and decide who gets priority. It's about shaping the very rhythm of international trade. In today's interconnected world, that is real power, power that Panama just reclaimed from China, reshaping the balance of influence at one of the world's most strategic crossroads. Over the last 2 decades, China has quietly built an empire, not with armies, but with cranes and shipping lanes. Instead of conquering territory through force, China has focused on connecting the world through commerce, using its economic power to reshape global trade routes. This transformation has happened steadily, often out of the spotlight, but its impact is now impossible to ignore. Through massive investments, Chinese companies now operate more than 90 ports in over 50 countries. These ports stretch across Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Americas, forming a vast network that links distant economies directly to China's industrial heartland. Experts call this the string of pearls strategy. Each port, a shining bead, threads together a network that supports China's global trade. This network isn't just about moving goods. It's about building influence, creating dependencies, and ensuring that China remains at the center of international commerce. This is no accident. China depends on safe, reliable trade routes to fuel its factories and feed its people. Every container that leaves a Chinese port carries not just products, but the hopes of millions who rely on global markets for their livelihoods. By owning or leasing key ports, China gains influence far from its own shores. It can speed up its exports, secure vital resources, and, if needed, flex economic muscle. These ports also give China a strategic foothold in regions critical to global shipping, allowing it to shape the flow of goods and even politics. Chinese port operators, such as COSCO and Hutchison ports, are now household names in logistics. They manage terminals from Greece's Piraeus to Sri Lanka's Hambantota, turning once local ports into global gateways for Chinese trade. The aim is clear: make China the beating heart of global trade. This strategy has paid off. By 2025, Chinese firms are expected to handle nearly a third of the world's container traffic, cementing China's role as a global trade superpower and making its ports indispensable to the world economy. But Panama's move threatens to unravel one of the brightest pearls in China's string. The future of this global web now hangs in the balance as new challenges emerge on the horizon. For China, Panama's ports are more than business ventures. They are strategic chess pieces. Control of Balboa and Cristobal meant Chinese companies had a front-row seat at one of the planet's busiest crossroads. Every ship that stopped there was a chance for profit, intelligence, and influence. The ports also gave China a say in global supply chains. With so much trade moving through the canal, Chinese operators could ensure their exports moved quickly and efficiently. They could also gather valuable data on rival shipments and build relationships with shipping giants and regional governments. Beyond commerce, the ports helped China build soft power in Latin America. They forged links with local businesses, created jobs, and sometimes even funded infrastructure. In a region long seen as America's backyard, this was a bold play. So when Panama slammed the door, it wasn't just closing a business deal. It was blocking China's access to one of the world's great crossroads, a blow with real strategic consequences. So, why did Panama make such a bold move? What drove the country to take such a decisive step, risking both its relationships and its economic stability? Well, the answer really starts with sovereignty. For many Panamanians, true independence means having control over their own critical infrastructure. You see, a lot of Panamanians felt their ports, these national treasures, shouldn't be in foreign hands. The ports are more than just economic assets. They're symbols of national pride and identity. There were growing fears that, outside control could lead to unfair practices or even threaten national security. People worried that foreign operators might put their own interests first, leaving Panama vulnerable. And of course, geopolitics played a role too. The global competition for influence is intense, especially in such a strategic location. In recent years, the United States and its allies have raised alarms about China's global ambitions. The Panama Canal is a vital artery for world trade, and whoever controls it wields significant power. As tensions rose, Panama found itself under pressure to show it stood with Western partners, not Beijing. The world was watching, and every move was scrutinized. The government saw an opportunity here to reclaim its independence, sending a strong message to both friends and rivals. It was a chance to assert Panama's voice on the global stage. There were economic reasons as well. The ports are a major source of revenue, and local control could mean more money staying in Panama. By running the ports themselves, Panama hopes to capture more profit, create jobs, and invest in local development. The government wants to ensure that ordinary Panamanians benefit directly from the country's resources. Officials are promising more transparency and better oversight. They say this move will lead to fairer practices and less corruption, but honestly, the decision is risky. There's a lot at stake, and not everyone is convinced it will work out as planned. Breaking with China means facing a powerful, unpredictable opponent. The economic and diplomatic fallout could be significant, and the future is uncertain. For Panama, this is a gamble, one that could really reshape its future, for better or worse. Only time will tell if taking back control will pay off, or if the risks will outweigh the rewards. China did not take Panama's move lightly. Within hours, Beijing summoned Panama's ambassador for urgent talks. Official statements condemned the takeover, calling it unjust and damaging to global trade. Chinese media warned of economic retaliation and possible legal action. Beijing has many tools at its disposal. It could impose trade restrictions, cut investment, or delay infrastructure projects in Panama. There are whispers of Chinese ships being rerouted to rival ports, or even blocking Panamanian exports from key Asian markets. Diplomats in Washington, Brussels, and Tokyo watched closely. Any escalation could disrupt trade far beyond Panama. The world saw how quickly a local dispute could become a global crisis. For now, the standoff continues, but the message is clear. China will not give up its hard-won influence without a fight. The shockwaves from Panama's decision are spreading through global supply chains. Shipping companies are scrambling to assess the risks. Will port fees go up? Will delays increase? No one wants another Suez-style traffic jam. Insurance rates for ships passing through Panama have already ticked higher. Some carriers are considering alternate routes, even if they are longer and more expensive. Exporters and importers worry about rising costs and new uncertainties. Allied countries are quietly offering support to Panama, hoping to keep trade flowing smoothly. The United States has promised technical help, while European firms explore new investments. Yet the uncertainty remains. If China retaliates, global shipping could face months of turmoil. The world's businesses, big and small, are watching every headline and hoping for calm seas ahead. Panama is not the only place where geography and politics collide. Around the world, a handful of narrow passages, called choke points, hold the fate of global trade. The Suez Canal in Egypt, the Strait of Hormuz near Iran, and the Strait of Malacca in Southeast Asia are all vital arteries. When trouble erupts at any choke point, the world feels it instantly. In 2021, a single ship stuck in the Suez Canal halted 10% of global trade for nearly a week. Tensions in the Strait of Hormuz routinely send oil prices soaring. Even small disputes can have outsized impacts. Panama's ports and canal are in this league. Whoever controls them can shape world markets. That's why the Panama-China showdown is not just a local story. It's a signal that the balance of power along the world's trade routes is shifting. Will other countries try to take back control of their own choke points? The world is watching, and history may be repeating itself. The showdown in Panama is more than news. It's a turning point. By reclaiming its ports, Panama has challenged China's global strategy and rattled the world's trade networks. The consequences will echo across continents and oceans. Other countries may now rethink their own port deals with Chinese firms. Global alliances could shift as nations look for new partners and safer routes. The balance of economic power, long tilted toward China, faces a stiff new test. For Panama, the gamble is just beginning. Success could mean more independence and prosperity. Failure could bring economic pain and diplomatic isolation. The world stands at a crossroads. In the end, this is not just about ships and harbors. It is about who will steer the future of global trade and how the world's wealth and influence will be shared in the years ahead. Will the Panama showdown spark a new era of competition or cooperation along the world's vital trade routes? Only time will tell. As nations weigh the fallout from the Panama episode, a new trend is quietly reshaping the world's economic map: the formation of fresh trade alliances. In the wake of disrupted routes and shifting loyalties, countries are forging unexpected partnerships, sometimes bypassing traditional powers altogether. Regional blocs in Asia, Africa, and Latin America are negotiating direct trade corridors, investing in joint infrastructure, and lowering tariffs to boost resilience. The European Union and ASEAN are deepening ties, while India and Brazil explore new pacts to diversify their supply chains. Even smaller economies are banding together, seeking strength and unity to resist outside influence. These emerging alliances promise to redraw the flow of goods, capital, and technology. While they offer hope for more balanced trade, they also introduce new risks: competition for resources, regulatory clashes, and the challenge of integrating diverse economies. Still, the message is clear. Global trade is no longer a one-way street dominated by a few giants. As new alliances form and old ones adapt, the future of commerce will be shaped by cooperation, competition, and the relentless drive for security and prosperity. In this new era, adaptability isn't just an advantage, it's a necessity. Pause twos. The world is watching. The next chapter in global trade is already being written, one alliance at a time. While alliances and geography shape the contours of global trade, another force is quietly transforming the heart of commerce: technology. In ports from Singapore to Rotterdam, a digital revolution is underway, redefining how goods move across the world. Automated cranes now unload massive container ships with precision and speed, guided by artificial intelligence and real-time data. Drones scan cargo for safety and efficiency, while blockchain platforms track shipments from origin to destination, reducing paperwork and human error. Smart sensors embedded in containers monitor temperature, humidity, and even tampering, ensuring sensitive goods, like medicine and electronics, arrive in perfect condition. In the control rooms, operators oversee sprawling terminals on digital dashboards, optimizing routes and predicting bottlenecks before they happen. These innovations aren't just about speed, they're about resilience. By harnessing big data and machine learning, ports can quickly adapt to disruptions, reroute cargo, and minimize delays. For shipping companies and traders, this means lower costs, more transparency, and a competitive edge in a rapidly changing market. But the digital transformation also brings new challenges: cybersecurity threats, the need for constant upgrades, and questions about the future of traditional jobs on the docks. Still, the momentum is unstoppable. As global trade enters a new era, technology is the invisible engine powering its evolution, making ports smarter, faster, and more connected than ever before. The next wave of innovation isn't just coming, it's already here, reshaping the very foundations of global commerce. As global trade accelerates and expands, there's another side to the story, one that unfolds far from the control rooms and digital dashboards. Behind the efficiency and innovation lies a growing environmental cost. The world's shipping fleet, now larger and more active than ever, is responsible for nearly 3% of all global greenhouse gas emissions, with container ships burning heavy fuel oil as they traverse new and longer routes. Expanding trade corridors mean more ships plying through delicate marine ecosystems. In the rush to move goods faster, precious habitats, like coral reefs and coastal wetlands, face increased risk from oil spills, ballast water discharge, and underwater noise pollution. These changes threaten marine life, disrupt migration patterns, and put local fishing communities at risk. Meanwhile, the construction of new ports and shipping lanes often demands large-scale dredging and land reclamation, transforming coastlines and affecting biodiversity. Even the push for larger, more efficient vessels can lead to deeper channels and bigger ports, amplifying the environmental footprint. However, the industry is beginning to respond. New regulations aim to limit sulfur emissions, while investments in cleaner fuels, electrified port equipment, and energy-efficient ship designs are gaining momentum. Some ports are even experimenting with shore power, allowing ships to turn off their engines and plug into cleaner electricity while docked. Yet the challenge remains. How do we balance the relentless drive for global connectivity with the urgent need to protect our planet? As shipping routes continue to expand, the environmental question grows louder. The future of global trade may be smarter and faster, but to be truly sustainable, it must also be greener. As global trade adapts to new realities, another quiet revolution is reshaping how nations and companies move money across borders. The rise of digital currencies. Traditionally, settling international trade meant relying on complex banking networks, clearinghouses, and the dominance of a few major currencies, often leading to delays, high fees, and exposure to currency fluctuations. But with the emergence of blockchain technology and digital currencies issued by central banks, the future of trade settlements is rapidly evolving. Digital currencies, like China's digital yuan and pilot projects in Europe and the Americas, promise instant, transparent transactions that bypass traditional intermediaries. For exporters and importers, this could mean less friction, faster payments, and reduced costs. Imagine a shipment of electronics from Shenzhen to Rotterdam. Payment could be triggered automatically as soon as sensors confirm the cargo's arrival, with funds settling in seconds rather than days. These innovations also bring new opportunities for smaller nations and businesses, leveling the playing field by reducing dependence on the world's dominant reserve currencies. However, digital currencies introduce fresh challenges. Questions of cybersecurity, cross-border regulation, and the need for global standards loom large. There's also the risk of increasing financial surveillance and the potential for new types of economic competition. Yet, as digital currencies move from concept to reality, they're poised to transform the very foundation of global commerce. The next era of trade may not just be about moving goods faster, but about moving money smarter, safer, and more efficiently than ever before. As we look ahead, the next decade promises to redraw the map of global trade in ways few could have predicted. The world's economic center of gravity is shifting, eastward, southward, and toward new emerging powerhouses. Geopolitical tensions, once simmering beneath the surface, are now shaping the very routes goods and capital travel. Trade alliances are in flux, with old partnerships tested and new regional blocs rising in importance. Imagine shipping routes that bypass traditional choke points, as Arctic passages become navigable and Africa's megacities emerge as new trading hubs. Nations once reliant on a single export are diversifying, investing in green technologies, and building digital infrastructure to stay competitive. The race for critical resources, like lithium, rare earths, and clean energy, will forge unexpected alliances and intensify rivalries. At the same time, technology will blur borders even further. Automation, AI-driven logistics, and instant cross-border payments could make it possible for even the smallest businesses to think and act globally. Yet these advances come with risks: greater exposure to cyber threats, supply chain disruptions, and the unpredictable impacts of climate change. Ultimately, the next chapter of global trade will be written by those who adapt fastest, nations, companies, and individuals alike. The winners will be those who can navigate uncertainty, build resilient networks, and turn disruption into opportunity. In this new era, the only constant will be change, and the world's trade map will never look the same again.